Quickly, what about some more expert analysis? Well, you can't ask for better analysis than the Managing Director of Constellation Marine Services, a man who served on the Lloyd's Register Advisory Committee. He's also the past president and current director for the International Institute of Marine Surveying and an IIMS board member as well. He is also registrar of the Antigua and Barbuda Maritime Flag Registry. Joining us live here in studio, friend of the show is Captain Zarir Iràni. Captain Iràni, thank you very much indeed for being with us.
Thank you very much, Tom. Happy to be here.
You were listening intently there to the thoughts of the chairman of DP World as well. Obviously, they will have vested interest in what's happening in the Red Sea. Before we get sort of more analysis, why is this part of the world, why is the Red Sea so important to maritime worldwide?
Well, it's a shortcut to the Mediterranean from the Arabian Sea, so to say. It saves somewhere like 14 to 7 days, depending on where you are going to the Medi. So it's a shortcut, basically saves fuel time and is very economical for vessels to go through the Red Sea via the Suez into the Mediterranean. And that's what makes it very important. 12% of the world's cargo moves through there, and 10% of the world's oil passes through. So it is an important transit area.
When we've seen, well, obviously we've seen announcements over the course of the last couple of days from various marine and maritime operators, BP announcing yesterday as well. And when an oil giant like BP says they're going to put a halt to things sort of seem to change as well. How much of shipping is affected at the moment from your reading of the situation?
Yeah, well, BP is the 10th large shipping company which has actually said they would not transit that area simply because of the reputational risk. Can you imagine a tanker with a hole in its hull with cargo spilling out? The entire strait would be blackened, beaches, and the first question they'll ask is whose ship was it or whose cargo was it? And no oil major wants that reputational loss. And it is better to be safe than sorry. And I think there'll be many more to follow. It's not that trade won't happen. There is a longer cut to reach where they want to round the Cape of Good Hope, and it will carry on. The commitments will be readjusted, rates will be readjusted, but the shipping has its way to survive. It's been there for a million odd years and first mode of transport, so it will continue. Just a long cut, that's all.
Is this a clear and present danger at the moment, though, as well? Or is this the industry being overcautious?
No, it is a clear danger. It is growing. First, it was about vessels with having Israeli interests. Now they are saying that it is anybody who, or any shipping company who has called ports in those parts of the world. And perhaps it'll escalate into if you ever had called any of those ports, we will come after you. And it's not fair on the crew, you see. Everyone's aware of where the voyages are going. These days, all ships are connected. And you wouldn't want to have a worried family or 26 worried families wondering if your husband's, your uncle's, your child's ship has transited that strait safely. You wouldn't want to have superintendent sitting in the office wondering if his vessel has passed through safely or her vessel's passed through safely. So it is a clear danger at the moment.
With that being taken out of the equation, with ships, the majority of ships, not willing to pass through the Red Sea, what's the knock-on effect? You mentioned a few moments ago about alternative routes, which will take longer. But what does that mean for us, the consumer?
More money. Spend more money for your Christmas gifts in Europe. I think that's what it means. Ships already, those which have been loaded and have left the Far East, China and places like this with your Christmas goodies, have already routed around Africa into Europe. So they're not taking a chance. You might not get that big Christmas gift that you ordered online on time, but it'll definitely reach. It'll reach more expensive. And it will. The immediate short-term supply chain disruption is what is the worry, because those ships which are right now in the Red Sea and are in the northern part and are wondering whether to continue voyage or to turn back and go past the Suez again, is where the immediate problem lies, and the short-term supply disruption is.
And there's that both ways, because you mentioned this is a shortcut up into the Media as well. Or in terms of the sort of global knock-on effect, is it those in Europe that are going to be more affected than those in other parts of the world?
Yes, those who are listening, I must tell you, your Mercedes-Benz and your BMWs might not come here on time.
You're
if
not
you
going to get your January the 1st delivery, are you?
No, you're not. So that's where it is. It's both ways, of course.
In terms of the reaction, obviously we've seen condemnation from a number of the major companies. The companies rightfully being very cautious at the moment. US overnight saying that it would lead an international naval operation. That includes the UK, Canada, France, Bahrain, amongst others. Is that going to solve the situation?
Well, it will not solve the situation. It will reduce its impact and give a sense of security. But this problem is very different from the piracy attacks that were very rampant in those waters. Must say, these are faster, they're more invisible. If you see a skiff coming towards you, you probably have some time to react. You would probably have armed guards on board, which most ships have. But if there is an aerial attack, if there's a drone coming and sending a small little zoop up your tanks, you might not be able to catch it all the time. So it's not a foolproof. It is a worry at the moment.
Your professional reading of the situation, obviously we're coming towards the end of the year. What's the next step here? What do you predict is going to happen?
Costs going up. Insurance costs have already doubled. The box ship freights have already escalated to 40% over just this weekend. So it's just going to be costlier to transit these waters. And those who have the time and have not got just-in-time deliveries and supply chain commitments will, of course, reroute themselves. So I think the world will see its levels of shipments. People will keep those long-term commitments, bearing in mind the risks. And those who have a lot riding on their reputation, like the oil majors, will clearly avoid it. Large shipping companies have already taken a stand, because you don't want media knocking on their doors, asking you difficult questions as to you could have done something about it, but you chose to take the risk, and here it is with a hole in your bucket and oil spilling out and things like that. So no manager, no decision maker will take a knowing risk with transiting through those waters.
Captain Zarir Iràni, Managing Director, Constellation Marine Services. Can't thank you enough for your insight. All the best for the season as well and the end of the year. And I thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much, and wishing all your viewers also a very, very happy holiday season.
Let's see what's happening on the roads. Dubai Eye